Today we're going to try to make one of the most famous and most popular mac and cheeses in America keto, and that's the mac and cheese from Cracker Barrel. I would call macaroni and cheese like the classic American dish, and I used to eat it all the time. I would eat the ones out of the box, I would eat it at every restaurant I went to, but I haven't had it in several years after I started keto and lost about 100 pounds. And it's because mainly I didn't feel like anything was ever going to live up to the original, but I think that pasta replacements have come a long way since we started keto way back in 2016. So one of the most important aspects of a macaroni and cheese is the pasta. Sarah and I have made gelatin pasta in the past. We've made ravioli out of cheese for keto in the past, but we've never actually tried any of the products that we're going to be trying today. We decided to do a taste test of a couple of keto-friendly options for you guys for macaroni and cheese using a tweaked version to make it keto of the Cracker Barrel restaurant mac and cheese. We're going to be making a base cheese sauce for our macaroni experiments, and then we're going to be preparing each of them separately so that we can taste test them. This is our first option. It's wet in this container. It says that it's 0 net carbs and 0 calories. It's called Wonder Noodles. It says pre-cooked and ready in 1 minute. I like the sound of that.
What is it made of?
Water, yam fiber, lime, and oat fiber. You're supposed to cut it open, rinse it under cold water for a minute, and add your favorite sauce or cheese or stir fry. A simply delicious alternative to pasta. For centuries, noodles derived from yams have been embraced by Asian cultures as a high-fiber, low-calorie dietary staple. Our second option is this Kaizen low-carb, high-protein pasta made with lupin flour. We used lupin flour once on our channel because we tend to be creatures of habit. So when I saw this option, I said, okay, so many of you guys are like interested in lupin flour products, so we definitely have to try this today. It says here that it is 21 grams of total carbs, 15 grams of fiber. So it's 6 grams of net carbs for a serving of this pasta. You do have to boil this like traditional pasta, so we're going to be trying this as well. And the last option, I know, it's cauliflower. Get over it. Cauliflower is a great replacement for almost everything on keto. We eat it all the time, and it's a vehicle for the sauce and for the cheese. So we figured if you don't want to buy any new products, and if you don't want to try any new products, then we're going to be making this recipe with good old-fashioned cauliflower. These are just roasted florets that we've cut up into small pieces. We roasted it in a bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper, and we roasted it for like 12 minutes. It's good to go. This is gonna be our third choice for this recipe. So the basis for a lot of mac and cheese recipes is a roux, and a roux uses butter and flour to create like that creamy, rich, thick consistency of a sauce. We don't use flour, obviously, on keto, but some people say that you can use almond flour or coconut flour, but they don't give you like that same rich consistency. We came across a website, Low Carb Inspirations, and she says that you can use whey protein isolate and butter to create a roux that's very thick. So that's the one that we're gonna go with today. So we're gonna melt about half of a stick of butter, and we're gonna put 1/8 of a cup of unflavored whey protein isolate into a pan, and we're going to start whisking that together until it creates a nice thick roux. So we have our roux thickening up right now, and now we're gonna talk about the cheese. You can use different cheeses for mac and cheese, but Cracker Barrel uses Colby Jack, and so that's what we are using for this recipe. And when you're on keto, you should probably be shredding your own cheese. Sarah and I are lazy some of the time, so we use pre-shredded, but if you shred your own cheese, you're gonna save on the carbs. Sometimes they use like a potato product, like potato starch, to coat the granules of cheese so that they don't stick together in the package. So it's always best practice to shred your own cheese if you have the time. So here we have our cheese ready to go. The rest of the ingredients for the Cracker Barrel cheese are very simple. You're gonna need 1 cup of chicken stock or chicken broth. We have better than bouillon that we've dissolved in about a cup of water here, ready to go. You'll need 1.5 cups of heavy cream, and then some parsley, and you can use some toppings on it as well, like bacon or, you know, like caramelized onions, which we have on the side here that we made earlier. And you can use a breadcrumb topping. Obviously, we can't use breadcrumbs on keto, so we go for our favorite, which is crushed pork rinds, and we're gonna be toasting those with some butter and some parsley and adding it on top. So now we're gonna make our cheese sauce. So I'm gonna pour in 1 cup of the chicken stock into our roux, and make sure that your chicken stock is hot when you do this. Next up, we're gonna add in our 1.5 cups of heavy cream. We're gonna heat this up until it thickens, and then we're gonna start adding in our cheese. So our roux cream broth mixture is boiling, and we're gonna add in our Colby Jack cheese. This is 2.5 cups of shredded Colby Jack. So it's quite a bit later. It's about 30 minutes later, and we probably should have waited a bit before adding in the cheese so that it reduced down further, but it's starting to thicken up really nicely now. However, there is a slight grittiness to this cheese sauce, and I think, honestly, that's the whey protein isolate. I'm not sure if there's anything that you could do about that. It tastes good. It's just got a slight grittiness behind there. It's not perfectly smooth, so we'll see how the rest of this goes. This is a test kitchen, after all. So let's start preparing our pastas for this recipe. I'm going to be boiling the Kaizen lupin flour pasta for 7 to 10 minutes. We have our pot of boiling water. I'm just going to drop this in. I'm probably going to make the whole package because we do have other people here that want to try it. And there's about 4 servings for this container. While the lupin pasta is boiling for 7 to 10 minutes, I think we're going to go 7 minutes because we are going to be baking this in the oven for about 10 minutes, so I don't want to overcook it. We're going to rinse our Wonder Noodles, and that's all you have to do to prepare them. There's always like a smell that comes out of these packages typically, so we're gonna rinse these really well with cold water, and then I'm gonna put them aside.
Initial thoughts?
It smells like fish food.
Fish food?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It smells like fish food. Like, we used to have a fish tank. It smelled like the little flakes that you put on top, right? Okay, so these noodles are very wet, and we definitely don't want that inside our macaroni. We're gonna drain these on some paper towel, try to get all of that liquid out of there. Interesting. Let's roll it up and
let it rest.
It's 7 minutes later. I'm going to drain out this pasta and try to get all the water out. So in the spirit of overwhelming ourselves every time we film a video, we have a bunch of stuff going on here. We have our lupin flour pasta ready to go. We have our Wonder noodles ready to go. We have our cauliflower florets ready to go. We have our toppings because we're insane. We decided to do bacon. We decided to do caramelized onions. We decided to do parsley. We decided to do pork panko as breadcrumbs. We have too many elements here, but I'm thinking it's gonna taste good. Let's start to build the Cracker Barrel macaroni and cheese. So we took our pasta, we put it into a bowl, we took about a cup of the sauce and we gently folded it into the cooked pasta. Then I filled up our ramekins. I went in with a little bit of the pasta in the sauce. I added a little bit of cheese. I added another layer of the pasta and the sauce. And then I started adding our toppings and I realized we were running out of room. I added some bacon on top, some caramelized onions on top, and then the pork panko on top. And wow, this is a little loaded, crazy little thing. This is pretty intense, the flavors. So we're gonna do the same thing with our other Wonder Noodles. I'm gonna dress the Wonder Noodles into the sauce, and then I'm going to layer it into the ramekins and add all the fixings on. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with the cauliflower. And so we should have 3 separate mac and cheeses to stick into the oven for 10 minutes to get nice and golden and bubbly. Why do we do this to ourselves? Ah, too many options. Because we think, hey, just a plain old mac and cheese, that's gonna be boring. Why not turn it into a circus?
Oh, if you drop that.
I'm going home if I drop this.
I don't remember a time before starting this video. Okay, which one do we want to try? I feel like we should just try the cauliflower first because it's such a staple on the keto diet.
So this is our cauliflower option. It looks really, really good. It doesn't look at all like pasta though, so, but will it taste good? That's the question.
The pork crumbles on the top really adds a nice crunch. Really tastes like breadcrumbs to me.
It's great.
It's great. Is this technically a mac and cheese? No. But The noodle is just a vessel. We like to say that all the time on our channel. This would not disappoint anyone, I think, on the keto diet. Maybe I'll make this for my Christmas party.
Mm-hmm. Really good.
Mandy, I'm bringing this Christmas.
Very, very good. No complaints. But is it mac and cheese? Flavor, 10 out of 10. But texture, 6 out of 10.
Yeah, it's not exactly like a noodle, but roasting it really does help make it nice and like almost caramelize that cauliflower. It doesn't taste like normal cauliflower.
Right.
If you put just boiled cauliflower in there,
I wouldn't
it's disappointing.
like that. Also, it would be really watery. If you were to put boiled cauliflower, I would definitely use roasted cauliflower in this application.
Just one note about the sauce. There is a little bit of a grit to the cheese sauce. Like I can't even notice it really now.
Right.
But we've talked about it, you know, behind the camera, and we think that I probably wouldn't add in that roux recipe to the next time I make this, just because it was thickening up on its own. And Emily likes to add in a little bit of cream cheese to finish off her sauces, and I think that would be probably a better fit for this recipe.
Put it down. We're gonna go to the next. Here we have our Wonder Noodles. These looked a little suspect out of the package. They did smell like fish food before I rinsed them. There was no fish food smell after I rinsed them.
How does it hold on to the sauce? That's important.
I mean, I'd say that the sauce is holding on there pretty well. We did dry them off onto paper towels. We definitely think that's important because they come in liquid. You're rinsing them in liquid. Therefore, you could end up with a really watery macaroni and cheese if you don't. So,
is it hot? I'm afraid. What?
Just try a noodle by itself.
It tastes like calamari type of consistency. I wonder if like an Asian pad thai would be better with this, or pad see ew, like something that really coats it and you expect that type of chewy kind of texture.
It is very chewy. It kind of almost got like a rubbery type of texture to it. So taste wise, I say that it still tastes good, but like individually when you try to grab an individual noodle, it's very
gelatinous. I don't mind the taste. It's the texture that maybe isn't the best in this type of application.
Taste-wise, since it doesn't taste like anything, still gonna give it a 10 out of 10 for the base recipe and everything, but 3 out of 10 for the texture of this noodle.
The texture is important here, and it's just not hitting the mark for me.
Last up, we have the lupini flour pasta. It definitely looks the most legit.
Yeah, it does.
I think that it holds the sauce really well. Also, I think the shape of the pasta leads to it holding toppings and sauce really well. I'm impressed so far. What about you?
It looks just like macaroni. I think it's one of the better pasta options that I've tried while being on keto, so there's that.
I mean, I like it. It's good. I already feel full.
Yeah. The onions and the bacon just add something really special to mac and cheese.
Yeah. I'm going to give the flavor of this a 10 and the texture on this an 8.
Yeah. So the winner is the Kaizen noodle for us at this point.
However,
I didn't mind the cauliflower.
No. The texture of the cauliflower is a 6. If you're trying to compare it to macaroni and cheese, I don't think that it's like bad texture. It's just not getting there.
It's not exactly like pasta. So that's what we were trying to compare it to.
If you like this video, you might like this one where we try a bunch of different recipes to get hash browns on keto. You might be surprised by the one that we chose as the winner. Anyway, I'm Emily.
And I'm Sarah.
And we are the Keto Twins, signing out.